Ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about habits, before we talk about change, before we talk about transformation, let us pause for a moment. Because we live in a world that moves fast, a world that celebrates results but ignores process, a world that applauds success but rarely studies what creates it. Everywhere we look, we are told to do more, to be more, to achieve more. But very few people tell us how lives truly change. Not in theory, not in motivation, but in reality. Most people don't fail because they lack dreams. They fail because their daily lives contradict those dreams. They want a better future, but they repeat the same mornings. They desire growth, but protect their comfort. They hope for change, but live on autopilot. And slowly, almost invisibly, days turn into years. One day, people wake up and ask, how did I get here? Why do I feel stuck? Why does my life look the same? The answer is rarely dramatic. It is usually simple. They lived according to habits they never chose consciously. Tonight is not about guilt. It is not about pressure. And it is not about perfection. Tonight is about awareness. Because the moment you become aware of your habits, you reclaim your power. And when you reclaim your power, you realize something extraordinary. You don't need a new life. You need new daily patterns. This is a talk about habits, but more deeply, it is a talk about hope. Because if habits built your current life, then habits can rebuild it. Create habits that transform a life. A life is built quietly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a question. How many lives are changed in one dramatic moment? Very few. But how many lives are shaped by what we do every single day? All of them. Open quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Eris quote. That quote is over 2,000 years old, and yet it describes our lives perfectly today. Because the truth is simple and uncomfortable. Your life is not defined by what you intend to do. It is defined by what you do consistently. Chapter 1. The invisible architecture of life. Most people believe life changes through big moments. A promotion, a graduation, a breakthrough. But life is not built in explosions. Life is built in bricks. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny. Anecdote. There was a study conducted on British cycling in the early 2000s. For decades, British cyclists were average, nothing special. Then a new coach came in and focused on tiny improvements. Better seats, cleaner helmets, slight changes in sleep habits. No miracle, just 1% improvements everywhere. Within a few years, British cyclists dominated the Olympics and the Tour de France. Open quote, success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations. James Clear, close quote, small habits, extraordinary results. Chapter 2, why habits are hard to change. If habits are so powerful, why are they so hard to change? Because habits feel like home, even when that home is uncomfortable. The brain loves familiarity more than happiness. Anecdote. A man once said, open quote, I hate my job, but at least I know what my misery looks like. Close quote. That sentence is painful and honest. People stay stuck not because they want pain, but because pain they know feels safer than uncertainty they don't. Open quote. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Warren Buffett, close quote. Habits don't imprison us suddenly, they tighten slowly. Chapter 3, identity comes before habits. Here is a life-changing truth. You don't change your habits first, you change your identity first. Anecdote. When someone quits smoking successfully, they don't say, open quote, I'm trying to quit, close quote. They say, open quote, I'm not a smoker. That close quote. That sentence is identity. Open quote. The most powerful force in human behavior is the need to remain consistent with how we define ourselves. Tony Robbins, close quote. If you see yourself as disciplined, you act disciplined. If you see yourself as incapable, you sabotage yourself. Your habits are votes for the person you believe you are becoming. Chapter 4, the power of one small habit. Let me free you from pressure. You don't need a perfect life plan. You need one small habit. Anecdote. Jerry Seinfeld wanted to become a great comedian. His strategy was simple. Every day he wrote jokes, even bad ones, and every day he marked an X on the calendar. His rule, open quote, don't break the chain. Close quote. That habit built a career. Open quote. Small disciplines, repeated with consistency every day, lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. John C. Maxwell, Close quote. Transformation doesn't shout, it whispers, daily. Chapter 5. The Habit Loop. Every habit follows the same pattern: cue, routine, reward. Understanding this gives you power. Anecdote. A man wanted to stop checking his phone every morning. The cue was waking up. The reward was feeling connected. So instead of fighting the urge, he replaced the routine. He read one meaningful page before touching his phone. Same cue, same reward. Different life. Open quote. You don't eliminate bad habits, you replace them. Charles Duhigg, close quote. Change becomes easier when it becomes smarter. Chapter 6. Habits that transform a life. 1. Habits of the mind. What you consume mentally shapes who you become. Anecdote. Oprah Winfrey once said that the habit of writing down gratitude every day changed her emotional life more than money ever did. Open quote. What you focus on expands. Wayne Dyer, close quote. A grateful mind is a powerful mind. 2 habits of the body. Your body carries your dreams. Anecdote. Many successful CEOs wake up early, not because it's fashionable, but because energy creates clarity. Open quote. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Jim Rohn, close quote. You can't outdream a neglected body. 3. Habits of discipline. Discipline is self-respect in action. Anecdote. Michael Jordan practiced even when no one watched. Open quote. You don't do the basics well occasionally. You do them well every day. Close quote. That's discipline. 4. Habits of relationships. Words repeated daily become destiny in relationships. Anecdote. A marriage counselor once said, open quote, most marriages don't end because of betrayal. They end because appreciation disappeared. Close quote. Open quote. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou, close quote. Ashnashara 5. Habits of purpose. Purpose gives pain meaning. As we come to the end of this journey, I want to bring you back to something simple. Your life. Not the version you show on social media. Not the version others expect from you. But the real one. The one you live when no one is watching. The one shaped by what you do early in the morning and late at night. The one shaped by what you repeat, quietly, consistently, faithfully. Big moments feel powerful, but they are rare. Habits feel ordinary, but they are permanent, and that is why they matter. You don't wake up one day confident. You practice confidence. You don't wake up one day strong. You practice strength. You don't wake up one day fulfilled. You practice meaning. Every habit you choose is a message you send to yourself. This is who I am. This is what I value. This is the life I am building. And here's the most important truth of all. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are not broken. You are standing at the intersection of who you have been and who you can become. And the bridge between those two lives is not motivation. It is not inspiration. It is habit. So don't ask yourself to change everything. Ask yourself to change one thing done daily. One habit, one promise kept, one small action repeated long enough to become identity. Because when you change what you do every day, you don't just change your schedule. You change your standards. You change your self-respect. You change your destiny. And one day, quietly, without applause, you will realize your life is no longer the same. Not because of luck, not because of talent, but because you chose to create habits that transform a life. Thank you.